You think you're watching the screen, but really, it's strapping your brain into a roller coaster ride. Every time you open your phone or your computer, your brain's reward center lights up in anticipation. You, my friend, are being conditioned. Porn doesn't just change what you see, it changes how you feel. And over time, it quietly miswires your brain to crave stimulation and, unfortunately, lose connection. What I'm about to show you might explain why love, real human love, feels harder to reach than ever before. Every time you watch porn, dopamine floods your system. It increases up to 400%. This is what neuroscientist Andrew Huberman exposed recently. The moment you click, your brain starts climbing that track toward that 400% increase. It goes like this: tick, anticipation, tick, tension, tick, almost there. But then it drops. The rush hits like wind in your chest, fast, loud, unstoppable. But your brain isn't built for endless loops of rise and fall. You know what it's built for. It's built for balance. After every high comes a crash. The more often you ride that roller coaster, the lower your baseline sinks. What used to feel thrilling now barely moves that needle. You are not broken. Your brain has just adapted to constant acceleration. It's trying to keep you safe in a world of endless peaks by lowering your definition of normal. But in doing so, it starts confusing arousal with connection, the thrill of motion for the experience of meaning. Porn acts like a mirror, but not a very clear one. Shows you the outline of desire, the illusion of being wanted, but never the warmth of being known. Your brain sees arousal, but it never receives that true connection. It gets the chemical hit of the reward without the emotional risk. That's the trick. It feels like intimacy, but it's only an imitation. Over time, that mirror starts to feel safer than real people. You know why? Because you can control it. You set the pace. You set the fantasy. You set the ending. There's no awkward silence, no rejection, no need to be truly seen by another person. But the longer you stay behind that reflection, the more your nervous system adjusts to it. It starts to crave the glow of pixels over the warmth of real touch. Eye contact now feels invasive. Stillness feels empty. Your body is wired for connection. Your brain's reward system has been taught to settle for simulation. So you build a mask. It looks confident, composed, even high functioning. But underneath, your nucleus accumbens, your craving center, is quietly running the show. Every click becomes a microdose of validation. You're okay for now. Every image is another reflection of a self that doesn't have to risk being rejected. And that is the hidden danger. The mirror steals your reflection, and the mask, it hides your humanity. Remember, your brain actually craves balance. When dopamine runs a system, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, it drops. It literally tanks. So even when you meet someone in real life, your brain can't sync up like it might have been able to. Touch feels distant. Eye contact feels awkward. You crave intensity, not intimacy. This is why real love starts to feel like a ton of work, because the part of your brain built for connection hasn't been exercised in years. Porn doesn't just desensitize your body, it disconnects your circuitry. It kills empathy first, then attention. But here's the hope: the same brain that miswired itself towards fantasy, well, it can rewire itself toward love. When you start to regulate dopamine and rebuild balance, oxytocin levels return, the numbness fades, the mirror clears, and you start to feel again. Okay, so tell me, Have you noticed that real intimacy feels flat after overstimulation? Hit me with a yes in the comments. It means your brain is waking up, not shutting down. Healing begins when you stop fighting the mirror and you remove the mask. When you stop battling your brain and instead you start listening to it, because underneath the noise, it's always been craving one thing and one thing only: balance. When you allow stillness in your life, your nervous system begins to recalibrate. The chaos quiets, the chemistry begins to steady. So, let me give you a brain hack strategy. Start small. Let's start closing this gap. Step away for one day. Replace the scroll with movement outside in nature or true deep breaths that reset the parasympathetic nervous system. When you feel that pull back into the screen, pause. Ask yourself, what do I really need right now? Every pause is a pattern interrupted. Every act of presence is a repaving of the roadway back to connection. This is what we do inside my Explicit Matter recovery program. We retrain the dopamine system. We help you rebuild empathy and rediscover what real intimacy feels like when your brain is balanced again. Because the goal isn't abstinence, it's really attunement, learning to feel again fully and without that mask. Porn rewires your brain to chase stimulation, but your brain is built to find balance. Work with it, not against it, and connection returns naturally. Okay, watch the next video that's coming up on the screen now. Porn addiction is not about sex. Neuroscience Explained. And please subscribe. This way you can get the weekly neuroscience-backed tools that can help you feel alive again, fully and without that mask. Let's create congruency together. And as always, remember, control your brain, or in fact, it will control you. I'll see you next time.